Hey beauties, it's Riri. Today's video is all about the brand new Bleeding Hearts palette from Gourmande Girls. I will pop on some swatches and we're gonna dive in. Swatches were helpful to you, and my bad, because I do not usually do swatches on my pretty little arm, y'all. I normally do them on my finger and then on my hand and get up close. So if you prefer the other method, please let me know. I was trying something different, y'all, that's all. But I just received the palette from Gourmande Girls. This was gifted, and I do have an affiliated code with her. It's Riri10 for 10% off. But I'm excited about this. I am wearing pink and blue today, which perfectly are going to correspond to the palette. It is, in my opinion, the perfect kind of Valentine's, anti-Valentine's, romantic, but with little pops of color and a little bit of depth, which I absolutely love. And I have said for a very long time, specifically when she kind of switched over to this format of eyeshadow palette, that her formula, you guys, across the board is really, really nice. It's quite consistent. I think it's very beginner friendly. I think today, I know I want to probably play with these two because they go a little bit against like just kind of being purpley, pinky, reddy. But I do want to play with the purples too. So I think I'm going to go into the purple. This may not look good at all, y'all. Maybe the hot pink. Maybe I'll kind of fluff it out with this. We'll kind of see tonally how that works. And then I think I'm going to go inner corner and then use these two. I don't know. Yeah, look, y'all know I don't plan these things. I am going to prep my lids as I always do with my Alter Ego eyeshadow base. I received one of these free with a palette in PR, and I loved it so much that I have repurchased and repurchased. It is fantastic. It did actually make it to my top products of 2025. If you missed that video, it is currently up, and I will link it for you guys as well. I hope everybody is well. How are you doing? How is the new year treating you? Do you feel like you're kind of shaking off the holidays and stuff still? Do you feel good? Do you feel refreshed? Do you still feel really, really tired and still feeling a little overwhelmed because of everything? I'm curious. All right, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up. I think, now I'm wondering if I should do the red and then the pink in that. And maybe put the purple on the lower lash line and then do those. So I'm gonna start with the red. We'll actually see kind of how punchy and stuff we can get that. Let me get a different brush. I normally set out brushes that I like think I might need, but you know, if we have to go back in. And that's a good rule of thumb too. If you're trying to place, you know, eyeshadow pigment down, maybe things are not blending out as well. Maybe you're not reaching the level of opacity that you wanna reach. Try switching your brushes up. So I am gonna go in with a pinched smudger style brush. And I don't usually use the palette mirrors, but I'm gonna try to use it for today. And I wanna stamp this and try to get it as red as I can possibly get it, as true to pan color as I can possibly get it. But I am gonna keep it very, very low so I can build upon it. You can do the exact same look that I am doing and go in reverse order. You can start with your, like, you know, lighter shade and then kind of blend from there. I feel like personally, if I am trying to reach kind of, you know, pan color and stuff like that and have it very, very opaque, I find that placing my darker shade down first helps me to do that. So this looks amazing. It is pretty true to pan color. Now, my test for something, because I've said this a million times, I don't want so much pigment that I put it in place and it just stays there and I cannot blend it, I cannot manipulate it. So my trick is, and like for me to find out if I like a shadow, if I feel like it's gonna blend out well and things like that, now that I've placed it down and it is as pigmented as I want it to be, From here, I'm going to take this exact same brush and just on these edges, I'm going to start kind of feathering it in some. And same thing here, just kind of feathering it. So now I can see a good variation between full opacity, very red, and then kind of blending it out and fluffing it out, and I'm seeing that kind of pink nature come through. So I do feel like this is, in my opinion, a good red. Obviously I cannot attest to long wearability or anything like that, but I generally find that her shadows do last and wear well on me. So again, placing it down, keeping it nice and low. I always kind of give myself some space, especially having hooded lids. I have to give myself some space to be able to blend upwards. I'm going to go into a small pinched brush, but it's very flimsy. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of kiss those edges ever so slightly and kind of start that gradient that I'm looking for. So now hopefully you guys can see that. It's quite opaque and very intense here, and then I'm able to start fluffing it up. Now I'm going to go into that bright pink. It picked up beautifully. And I feel like this is going to be one of those pinks that I really like. Whoa, that really packs a punch. It's almost more like a neon pot pink, which I'm not mad at all, you guys. Wow, yeah. And then again, I'm kind of tapping it in place first. Again, you could work light to dark though. And I guess it kind of depends on the mood that I'm into. Like if I start off light to dark or dark to light, or just kind of what I'm trying to aim for in terms of my look for the day. So as you can see, quite pigmented, but again, I'm able to fluff those edges. And that is important to me. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm gonna go back in with this brush and really make that red pop right here. And upon swatching, everything felt the exact same as it generally does with Gourmande Girls. And when I did the swatches, the red left a tiny kiss of a stain. I do note that because I know some people do not like staining at all. I'm going into that pretty blushy shade. Again, picking up beautifully in the brush, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to fluff that over the edges just so that I have, you know, a very clear gradient between like the red, the pink, and then the more blushy shade. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm going to go back in with the pink, and I will do this in every single look. I kind of go back and forth until I've kind of reached the level of opacity I'm looking for, or like the perfect blend or gradient that I'm looking for. Okay, I'm thrilled. I'm gonna go, I'm so scared to do the purple on the lower lash line, but look, we're just gonna go for it, y'all. I'm gonna go into the purple, and it's called Nightshade Vein. I'm putting that on the lower lash line, and I do the same exact thing, where I kind of stamp it in place first. And you guys saw when I put on my eye primer, I also run it on the lower lash line. If you find that specifically mattes are not sticking really well, you know, mattes are obviously a little bit more drier. They're not like emollient or have like filler or anything like that in them generally, the way that a shimmer would. So if you're seeing that they're not kind of staying in place, you're not getting the wear from them, try just bringing your eye primer down some and put that on the lower lash line. And then in terms of application, I again will tap and press in place first so you can see how deep and rich that pigment is. You can also wet your brush and treat it more like a liner. Okay, I'm digging it. I'm going back into that little flimsy brush, and I'm going to go into this beautiful, very soft gray. And I'm going to pick up quite a bit of it. And I'm going to tuck that right under where I laid that purple at and just softly feather it. And I'm trying to use as many shades as I can. And I'm a fan of, again, putting down a darker shade and then really blending it out with a softer shade. I just feel like the gradient in that manner is just, to me, it's a little bit nicer. All right, I'm happy with my mattes. I'm gonna put on some glitter glue. This is from Gourmande Girls as well. I purchased this myself, but again, I have an affiliated code with her, Riri10. And it is very thin and very serum-like. And it's got a good level of tack and grip without being super sticky, you know, getting gloopy or anything like that. It doesn't disrupt the mattes underneath, which, you know, we're placing shimmers on it, so does it really matter? No. All right, I'm first gonna go into the beautiful kind of aqua shade, Hex Flower. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space. Oh, whoa, that's pretty. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space on the inner corner. Wow, 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 that's pretty. Ooh. I like when things work out, because, you know, y'all, sometimes them looks don't be looking, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go into this shade, and it's a beautiful, like, bluey periwinkle with, like, purple and stuff in there. Very, very pretty. I'm gonna butt that up right next to the other shade. Oh, yeah. You could also go in with your shimmer shades. You can use a silicone applicator. You can use kind of an old school traditional like makeup sponge. I always use my fingers, which I understand that's a little more hard and difficult to do if you have longer nails, but I just feel like you get a better bang for your buck. And then I'm gonna go in again just with my finger. Whoa, that's so pretty. Ooh, okay. I love this. Thank goodness. I'm gonna go into a different really small pinch brush, pick up a little bit of that same inner corner shade, and I really just want to make that inner corner pop. And I'm gonna kind of flick that down to the lower lash line, as well as flick some up through here. I like to do that. I just feel like it makes it a little bit more cohesive, and because I do have hooded lids, I like to keep this part of my eye just a little bit more light and bright and open. Okay, and then I'm also gonna take that shade and pop a little bit just at the very top portion of the brow bone. That's stunning. Let me do the other eye off of camera. I'll come back. I'm gonna try to do blushes and stuff from this. We'll do highlight and all the things, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, eyes are done. I think it turned out so pretty, you guys. I am gonna go in, I generally, if you're new here, I do try to go into a palette and use it for as many things as I possibly can. Contour, blushes, bronzers, highlighters, things like that. I am gonna be a little bit ballsy. Keep in mind that this is gonna be way, way more intense and impactful than what a kind of standard contour would be. So I'm gonna go in with this firm brush. I'm already scared. Pick up a tiny, tiny bit and try to contour with this shade, which it is doing a good job. Keep in mind it's gonna be way more pigmented than kind of a standard contour, hence me going in with just a tiny, tiny little bit, but it's doing a job, y'all. And if I did place this down and it did not kind of blend out the way that this side did blend it out, you know, just fine, I feel like it is blending out fine. If it did not blend out well, you can go in with a like fluffy fluffy brush, put it into like some powder, and you could get the exact same result to just kind of soften and diffuse it. So, I mean, I want to always kind of showcase that, because I think for a lot of us, well, I know me personally, if I can use something for multiple things, I'm gonna try my best to use it in that way. So, okay, yeah, less is more approach. Might take a little bit of elbow grease, but I'm fine doing that. I'm gonna go back into that fluffy brush. I am tapping it off because obviously it had a little bit of shimmy shims on it. All right, and then I'm gonna also be ballsy and try to go in here. I'm gonna have to use a fluffy brush. Normally with my bronzer, I use something like this. And now this offers no warmth. It's quite neutral, but I am gonna just kind of see what it does. Okay, it just looks like mud. Don't do what I just did, you guys. We're gonna fix it though. We are going to fix that. And if you mess up on one side, you guys, do the exact same thing on the other side. Because you don't want to rectify this side and then everything just looks totally different and nothing looks, you know, the same on both sides. So yes, I am going to go in. Okay, definitely too neutral, definitely way too pigmented. Now it just looks like a big patch of mud. That is lovely. Y'all, this is a look. Well, hey, we're going to take it from Valentine's to anti-Valentine's Day. We're going very earthy, moody, grungy. I am gonna go in with my little powder puff. I'm gonna pick up some powder. This is the Huda Beauty one. And I'm gonna press that in and literally just tap this right on top. And it should, yes, it should take it down just a little bit for me. And then I'm gonna go in with my blush brush. And y'all, you don't have to use this. I always just try to showcase that you can, in some cases, use it for different things. I'm gonna tap both of these, the two pinkier shades. Ooh, that's pretty. Again, though, these are gonna pack a little bit more of a punch. They're gonna not be as easy to blend out. Ooh, okay. I am looking a little dry, a little dusty, crusty. Wait, you know, is that any different from my regular everyday skin? You know, no. And then for highlight, which this should hopefully work out fine for us, I'm gonna mix these two. And using an open fluffy brush like this, I'm not really gonna be picking up as much. So hopefully it's not too crazy. And I like to do this. I used to be very anti like anything glittery or sparkly on, you know, for like highlighter. But there's just something that I love about doing it now and like in the last few years or so, because to me, it's fun. It's colorful, it's vibrant, and it really ties in the makeup look when I'm doing the exact same, you know, shades on the eyes as I am for, you know, my highlighter and stuff. All right, we are definitely looking a little dry, but that's okay. I mean, that is absolutely stunning. And then for my lips, I already had on some of my Huda Beauty, the lip contour stain in Rosewood. This was gifted, as was the powder I showed earlier. But this is like a very like my lips but better type of shade for me. If you ever see me just with what looks like my natural lips or just something very soft with an oil or treatment on top, it's this. I use it almost every single day. So I'm going to kind of reinforce that. And I always come in when I'm lining. As you can see, there's no product here, especially as I'm maturing and aging and stuff like that. You know, things go down south. So instead of bringing that line straight down, I bring it to here and I curve it in. So it just gives a little bit more automatically of more of a kind of lifted, more pouty effect. Same thing here. I do not come from in here. I come from right here. And then I round that edge. And then I already have on the Byro Sugar Plum Lip Oil. I think to kind of bring in some of this bluiness though, I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Pillow Balm in Ice Crystal. And as you can see, it's got like blue, pinky, purple. So I think that it'll look really pretty with this. And again, you could just go in with the palette, you guys, do a beautiful muted, you know, soft nude lip and call it a day. You do not have to, you know, do all the bells and whistles and be colorful and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that smells so good. Oh yeah, that was perfect. And that is my completed look using the Bleeding Hearts palette from Gourmande Girls. It is available now at the time that you're watching this. And again, this was gifted to me in PR and I do have an affiliated code with her, Riri10, for 10% off. I'm gonna get up close and personal so you guys can see it, and then you'll also see it in flash. And question of today's video, do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you not celebrate Valentine's Day? If you do, I wanna know, do you guys do something expensive? Is that like the one time of the year that maybe you save up and buy each other something really, really nice? Do you kind of just go to dinner? I wanna know. We don't celebrate. We also don't really go to dinner and stuff like that because, baby, them restaurants, honey, look, when I'm ready to eat, I'm ready to eat. I'm not trying to wait an hour. And then our anniversary is in a couple weeks after that. So I'm just curious, do you guys celebrate or you do not celebrate? But that is it. Thank you, beauties, so much for joining. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you did enjoy. You can turn on notifications so you never miss one of my videos. And there's a join button down below you can click to become a channel member to get some exclusive perks. I love you all. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye, beauties.